This is 7 National News, and in our top story, the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, has ordered an air bridge to the victims of the most powerful earthquake to hit Nepal since 1934, which has so far claimed more than 4,100 lives and displaced thousands of people. The devastating earthquake has resulted in a shortage of potable water, food and medical supplies, in addition to a serious hygiene risk. The first air cargo, Boeing 747, took off this morning, with the air bridge set to deliver a total aid volume of 450 metric tons, including food supplies, emergency health kits, water purification units, water storage and distribution units, communication equipment, and tents. The operation has commenced in cooperation with the UN, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, and other international humanitarian agencies. Additionally, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid has allocated 100,000 pouches of Salma halal food, an initiative by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed dedicated to urgent emergency responses. And His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, have sent 2 congratulatory cables to Prince Mohammed bin Nayef bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the Saudi Crown Prince, on the trust bestowed on him by the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. In their cables, their Highnesses wished Prince Mohammed bin Nayef the best of luck in serving his country and in contributing towards the kingdom's prosperity. The UAE Ministry of Environment and Water has destroyed more than 10 tons of seized ivory stockpiles at Al Qusais landfill in collaboration with the Dubai municipality and the International Fund for Animal Welfare, MENA, while sending out a strong message to the world that the UAE will not tolerate wildlife trafficking. His Excellency Dr. Rashid Ahmed bin Fahd, the Minister of Environment and Water, said that the UAE is committed to international efforts to conserve biodiversity and protect endangered species. He added that the destruction of the ivory stockpiles in the state is in compliance with the values of the UAE and multilateral international conventions. Talking about the threat posed by illegal ivory trade, the Regional Director of IFAW, Middle East and North Africa, Dr. Sayed Mohammed, said that each year between 25,000 and 50,000 elephants are killed for ivory, literally killing 1 elephant every 15 minutes. He added that there is no market for ivory in the UAE, but it is an important link in the movement of international trade, making it a transit point between Africa, where the ivory is sourced, and East Asia, where the country of destination. It was later mentioned that over the past 2 years, countries such as US, China, France, Belgium, among others, have crushed ivory confiscated in their ports of entry.
This is a message from UAE. UAE always will be a big supporter and a big player in supporting international convention and all the effort taken to protect the environment and the wildlife. UAE is a signatory of CITES, and what we see here, just an example of what the authority in the UAE is doing to stop and to prevent such illegal trade. UAE is a member, participant of the London conference for illegal trade of wildlife. So what we do here is really an example of what the UAE is doing, an effort to stop such illegal trade.
These events usually will send out a message to all the airports, all the people who are dealing with ivory, that Dubai and UAE is not accepting this kind of business, that we will stop. We are confiscating this kind of the ivory, and in these events we crush the ivory, and we are not here in the middle of the world. You know, Dubai airport is a hub. So all the people who are dealing with this kind of items, they need to know that we will not allow it to go to the consumer countries.
New research from the Masdar Institute of Science and Technology has revealed accurate measurements of the UAE's groundwater reserves and the rate at which they are depleting. The research is said to provide the government with crucial information for the optimal management of the country's freshwater reserves. According to local reports, a Masdar Institute graduate student created UAE's first water budget, a term that reflects the relationship between all inputs and outputs of water through an area, and discovered that the UAE's groundwater is being pumped out for irrigation at a rate of about 860 billion liters per year and is depleting at a rate of 0.5 centimeters a year. Additionally, while the UAE relies on its groundwater reserves to provide over 50% of the country's fresh water, most of it goes towards the agricultural sector for irrigation. Desalination provides around 37% of the UAE's water demand, which is used mostly for industrial and domestic consumption. The remaining portion, around 12%, is reclaimed water, which is used for landscaping irrigation. The RTA has announced it has accomplished the transformation of all the customer services into smart services that are tailor-made to be innovative and easy to use. The announcement was made at a press conference held at the RTA, which was attended by His Excellency Matar al-Tayr, the chairman of the board and executive director of the authority. About 173 services have transformed into smart services that are offered as part of 9 apps, which are available on various smartphone platforms. Through these apps, the RTA is seeking to shape Dubai into the smartest city in the world in terms of roads and transport systems. According to Al-Tayr, the accomplishment of the project is the practical implementation of the initiatives of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, to transform Dubai into the smartest city in the world within 3 years. It also echoes the directives of His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Dubai's Crown Prince and Chairman of the Executive Council, who is overseeing the Smart City Initiative, which aims to deliver state-of-the-art services, including smart mobility, which is a key pillar of smart cities. Al-Tayr added that the RTA has completed the re-engineering and redesigning of 36 services, which have been transformed into smart services. It also engaged about 80 students from 5 universities, as well as several companies in designing and testing the smart services. Finally, in the bulletin, prominent American astronaut Dr. Donald Thomas, who holds the world record for the longest stay on board a space station, began his 4-day visit to some of the schools in Dubai today to familiarize UAE students about space travel and share experiences of living on a space station. The initiative is part of a joint collaboration between the UAE-based Compass International Tours and the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, USSRC, an affiliate of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, and allows the region's students to interact closely with one of the highly acclaimed astronauts in the world. The organizers stated that Dr. Thomas's visit is the first in a series of many programs that they plan with an aim towards bringing space awareness within easy reach of the region's students. They will also launch special packages for students between the age of 7 and 18 that will allow them to spend 2 weeks at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, and closely experience various aspects of the space program, such as living in zero gravity, fitness and dietary preparations, and other interactive learning methods.
We at Compass, we have initiated this to empower the students of UAE. I believe UAE has a lot of potential and then initiating a lot of acts toward developing students and young leaders. And we've been already working with US NASA's Rocket Center, and we had the connection and the opportunity, and why not, it's a teamwork, get all of us connected and contribute to the community and reach out to the students that are really interested in space, science, technology, engineering.
We thought it was a very natural thing for us to come to Dubai. At Space Camp, we have students from over 70 foreign nations every year. So we thought, why not come to the epicenter of cultural development on the world? We think that Dubai has the brightest future, and we wanted to come here to try to encourage and stimulate and inspire the young generation for space travel. I think young Emiratis already have their eyes on the stars. This was a natural place for us to come to try to inspire them with the future, their future in space. There is absolutely a future in space for young Emiratis and people from globally, because it's not only just government, NASA, who's going to be going into space these days. Now it's open to private and commercial sectors as well. So I entirely expect that many of us will travel in space in our lifetimes.
Dr. Donald Thomas is acknowledged as one of the foremost authorities on space exploration, having set a world record for spending the longest time on an international space station, a total of 1,040 hours in 4 missions. In 1990, he was selected by NASA as the International Space Station Program scientist to oversee NASA's experiments conducted on the International Space Station.
I think the number one quality or characteristic of an astronaut, you got to be hardworking. It's really hard to get into that position. I wanted to do this since I was like 6 years old, and I was 39 the first time I launched into space. And I think every astronaut comes back with a keen appreciation. This planet is beautiful, it's so fragile, we all have to take better care of it. And one other change from being in space, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, one of the states in the United States, and that's where I was from. But after I've flown in space, I say I'm from Earth. And it doesn't matter what city you're from, what state, what country, what emirate, we're all from planet Earth. So I look at all of us as all part of this planet. We're all citizens of the same world, where I used to look at it a little differently, a little more regionally. One unusual thing happened to me on my first mission. I'd been looking out the Earth at daytime, and then we had a night pass, so it's nighttime. And I'm looking down at planet Earth, and I see city lights down below. And all of a sudden, I saw a little zip of light go by. And it's like, what is that? And I thought about it, and I realized I was looking at a shooting star. My whole life, growing up, when I wanted to see a shooting star, I looked up. I looked up at the sky, and I was in a new orientation, a new position, where now if I want to see a shooting star, I have to look down at Earth. And it made sense once I thought about it, but when you first see it, it's like, what was that? And then, I'm up above the shooting stars. You know, they enter 40, 60 kilometers above the Earth, and we're flying 300 kilometers up. So it's just one of those things that surprises you a little bit, and then, oh, that makes sense.
He basically talked about his own experience, like in space, and then he told us, like, how there's so many opportunities which I never even knew about, because honestly, like, whenever I think about going to space, I just think of, like, being an astronaut, and for some reason that has always scared me, like going to space myself. So, but then when I got to know more today, I realized that it's not only about being an astronaut. There's so many things that goes behind the scenes to get an astronaut in space, and I'm just like I always had an impression that I want to do something in finance, so I'm just like, why not like club finance and going to space together, and I can actually, like, be part of the team that helps send astronauts to space, and, like, to develop our research in the future.
The main thing I learned today was to never give up on your dreams. Normally I'm not really hardworking, I'm a really lazy kind of person, but after today I feel inspired to work more, harder, and really persevere to get towards my dreams.